I'm reviewing Colony Season 1, Episode 5, entitled Geronimo. Last week, we kind of left on a cliffhanger. Phyllis got killed and by the Resistance, and now we're wondering where this is going to go. Who's going to be the boss of the Red Hat unit, and where, how wild are things going to get on this show? So in the beginning of the episode, Will and his partner Bo arrive to the scene of the crime where their dead boss is. Their boss lives in the green zone. They're just trying to figure out what happened, how all this happened. One of Geronimo's messengers gets captured in the green zone, a 18-year-old. He gets arrested for posting resistance propaganda posters in the green zone. So they take the kid to the center to kind of interrogate. Well, I don't want to say interrogate because they just brought him in to ask him questions, but they weren't like getting ready to knock him out or anything. But they take him into the office and they start asking him this kid questions like, where are you getting these posters from? Where can we find these Geronimo? The kid eventually ends up talking because we're then taken to a scene where Will and the Red Hats, they infiltrate this home, and just as they're about to leave, Will sees this huge Apocalypse Now poster, and he decides to nudge it, and he notices that there is a pathway behind it, and he goes through, and there are two people there developing the Geronimo posters. So they're arrested, and they start getting interrogated. So then Will calls in one of the workers in, and he starts accusing her like, "This is the reason Phyllis is dead is because of you. You're always around her. You're the only one who knows anything. And I'm not the one who's passing information to the Resistance. It's got to be you." And she gets offended. She's like, "Look, why don't you go check with your wife? She's the one who was talking. She was the last one who was secretly talking to Phyllis, and why don't you check up on her?" So when Will comes home, he starts asking the nanny, like, was there anything unusual going on the day of the bombing? And the nanny's like, "No, I took the kids to the playground. I mean, it was a little bit early for me to take the kids to the playground, but it's pretty normal for her to." So then Will goes to the bar that Katie owns and starts looking at things, like trying to see maybe he can find something. Well, Katie's there, and she's like, "What are you looking for?" And he doesn't really answer her, and she lies dead to his face, and and he tells her that, "Oh, Phyllis has been killed," and she's gotta lie and be like, "Really? She got killed? I didn't know that." When she knew perfectly well that Phyllis was killed by one of the Resistance members who was talking to her a couple of episodes back. Now, from what it appears, Geronimo is not a person, but more of a symbol used to symbolize the Resistance. It's kind of like, this whole show kind of reminds me of 1984, the novel by George Orwell, where people are constantly told what to do, and in this case, Geronimo is like sort of like a big brother. Sort of like the big brother that in 1984. He's a symbol. He's not really an actual person. So then we're taken to a scene where Alan Snyder, one of Will's other bosses, he goes to see the fake Geronimo. Remember the guy who was in the library, who was behind the intercom? This guy, he was captured in the previous episodes. And so Alan Snyder, like I said, Will's boss, goes to see the fake Geronimo. He's not Geronimo. And he's like, "Look, I want to make a deal with you. I won't send you to the factory, but you gotta play along. You have to be a patsy. You have to pretend to be Geronimo for me." He agrees. So then at night, Will sneaks back into the bar when everything's closed. Katie's not there, at night, and he starts snooping around. He's trying to find something. His suspicions are finally arising. Later in the episode, we have this Geronimo trial that lasts over the course of a week, where the victims are called to the stand, and they're recalling their stories and demanding justice for all that has happened because of Geronimo. Now remember, Geronimo is there, the fake Geronimo is there, he's taken the fall because he's made a deal with Alan Snyder. In which case the result ends up the accused found Geronimo guilty on all counts and he was sentenced to death. So then as they're transporting the fake Geronimo, Lewis has this shock on his face, like, "What? I thought we had a deal, and now you're saying, I wasn't going to get sent to the factory as long as I played along." And Alan Snyder has like this smirk on his face, like the deal was a hoax, and the fake Geronimo Lewis ends up getting hung in the episode. Last things we see in the episode is Katie suiting up with the Resistance, and Alan Snyder telling Will to get in the car. They have to go somewhere. So we kind of end on a sort of cliffhanger, but now this episode wasn't as good as last week's episode, but still nonetheless a very good episode. The way that these last two episodes have been going, they certainly have been building the suspense. In the beginning of the episodes, where they grab your attention before they roll the opening credits, and then when it ends, you have a little bit of suspense, and which makes you want to continue watching the series the following week, which is something that we really didn't get the first three episodes, and I'm liking that they're doing that. So the show is progressing, it's getting better. We still don't know if Will is finally getting suspicious of his wife, so I can't wait to see if the two collide, and what's going to happen when he finds out that she's part of the Resistance. Is he going to hop over to the Resistance and start helping them, or is he going to stay with the Red Hats? Because in the episode, he talks with Alan Snyder, and he's like, look, we had a deal too. I help you find Geronimo, and you help me find my son. So it's going to come down to that. Is he want to continue looking for his son? Is he going to stay with the Red Hats to find his son and arrest his wife because she's been lying to his face this whole entire time? Or is he going to go with his wife and come up with some kind of plan to find their son? There's people in the Resistance that are working with the Red Hats secretly, so maybe they can help him find his son, and for him to be on the same side with his wife. We're going to have to find out and see. But this episode had a lot of things going on in it. It definitely was a pretty good episode. So we're halfway through the season. The show is progressing. It's not perfect, but we're getting there. So I'd say if any of you like science fiction dramas, this is definitely a series to go check out. It's slowly building up. But I think every show, the first season, it's not going to be perfect. It's just setting up for future seasons, and this show certainly looks like it's going to have multiple seasons, and I hope that it keeps up what the last two episodes have been doing and gets better. Right now, it's not like a binge-worthy show, but I'm hoping that within the next couple of episodes and then maybe next season, we can certainly get to that level where we can say this is a must-watch show. I know that the USA Network is just is really fresh, and it hasn't really had like a whole lot of hit TV series, but Mr. Robot is a lot of people have been talking about Mr. Robot, which is on the USA Network. Not a whole lot of people talking about this show, but this is definitely a show worth checking out. Might not be on the same level as Mr. Robot as of yet, but it's getting there. So yeah, guys, did you see this episode? What were your thoughts on it? Have you ever even heard of the show? Are you gonna go see it? But as always, you can hit that big thumbs up there on the bottom, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time for more boxings, reviews, and movie news.